All right, so here we are, chapter 3, page 6 of our notes. So we've been talking about transactions and how they're recorded in a journal, and we just talked about source documents and when certain source documents are used. So there's another transaction that we have not discussed yet, so I want to touch on that real quick, and it's at the top of the notes for chapter 6. So you can see we have received cash on account from Oakdale School, $200. And anytime you have received cash where somebody owes you money and they pay you part of the money that they owe you, anytime that happens, you're going to use a receipt as well. Okay, so make sure you know you use a receipt. When an owner invests in the company, you use a receipt, and when you receive cash on account, you use a receipt as well. All right, so here's the transaction, August 18th. So obviously the 18th, you put it in here first and the date. And next is the account title. So for this one, you can tell that we received cash. So one of the accounts will be cash, and the other one will be Oakdale School, because that's the company that paid us the money they owe us. So you'll put Oakdale School in the account title. Okay. And once again, your document notation is going to be an R for receipt. If it's the first transaction, it's receipt 1. Second is receipt 2, so on and so forth. Now we have our $200. We want to figure out where it goes. All right, so once again, it's in cash, which, that's a special amount column. We've talked about that. And anytime you have cash increasing, it goes on the debit. Cash decreasing, it goes on the credit. So in this case, it's increasing because we received cash, so we'll go cash debit. It is not a sale, so nothing goes in here, but we are going to use the general amount column. Now we use debit over here, so it has to be credit here. So 200 goes here as well. All right, so let's take a look at how it should look. Let's take a look. There we go. Okay, so you have the date, you have the school, you have the source document, which is a receipt, and you have 200 in general credit, 200 in cash debit. So make sure you record this, all this information in your notes at the top of the page there. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the next thing here. Now, listen. So in real life, you're going to have a journal page, and you're going to get to the end of that journal page at some point. At some point, you're going to get to the bottom of the journal, and you're going to have to start a new page. And when you get to the bottom, it's called ruling a journal page. So it's what you do at the bottom. So we're going to pretend like this is our journal. We've gotten to the bottom. You can see all the transactions that have taken place. Now there's 4 steps for what you do when you get to the bottom of a journal page or ruling a journal page. So the first thing you're going to do, okay, is you're going to rule a single line. So you're going to draw a single line across the bottom here that shows that we are ruling the journal page. Now make sure you're writing this down in your notes. There's 4 steps there in your notes. So not only do you need to be writing these 4 things down, but in that journal example as well, you're going to do what you should be doing, just like I'm doing here. So step 1, rule a single line. Step 2, now you want to write down the date that you do this. So the last transaction that happened was August 11th. So when that happens and you have to start a new journal page, you're going to use the same date. So whatever the last transaction is what date you're going to do this. Now you're going to put in the account title carried forward, meaning we're going to carry these amounts forward to a new journal page. Now you put a check mark in this post reference box, and you put a check mark here. Next, you are going to total up all the columns. So you add up everything that you see here to get the totals. So general credit, you add these 2 numbers together to get this total here. Add each column up, and you total them at the bottom. And then after you've done that, and you know everything's correct, you have done everything you need to do, you double line across the bottom saying I'm done, I know everything's correct, we're good to go. Now that's how you rule a journal page. So we've completed the journal page, and we have to start a new one. So now let's go to starting a new journal page. So we pull out a new journal page, and we start it up, and here's what you do when you do that. So step one is you write the page number at the top of the journal. So up here, now we are on page 2 of our journal. You want to write the page number up here. Pretty easy. Step 2, the date. So whatever date we used to rule the journal page before, we're going to transfer that same date over to the new journal page. Next, we're going to write brought forward. So in the other one we did carried forward, now we're using brought forward. And you put a check mark in the post reference. Okay, we're bringing the amounts from the other page forward. So the last step, record column totals brought forward from the previous page. So the amounts that were on the previous page that we just finished, you're just going to bring those totals forward to the new page. Those are the 4 steps to starting a new journal page.